Greetings. We back. We back. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Spenduza. Deluza. Peluza. Jamua.
It's pretty exciting.
Jamua. Deluza. Come here, girl. Who you by your nappy wheel? Holla.
Hey, everybody. I'm tiptoeing around like a little corner here and peeking out since we haven't been around. I'm like, am I still welcomed in the room?
Ain't nobody checking for you, Otis.
So, hey, greetings.
Look, you don't even do no more.
We are the Paid in Full podcast. We've been away for quite some time.
Apologize, Mia.
I'm so sorry on behalf of JP and I for staying away far too long from our listeners who I'm sure probably thought something bad had happened and that was the reason why we hadn't been around. But we are still here.
Just lazy.
So, just lazy. He wanted a sabbatical. We're going to call it a sabbatical. Life sabbatical. We went on some, life research. So, but
Mia took some pole dancing lessons, and
I wish I did. I need to find some. That would be great. I'd be awful at it, but it'd be still fun. I think they have some in Atlanta, honestly. But for those of you who are joining us for the first time or rejoining us, welcome. We are Mia and JP of the Paid in Full Pod. So, yay!
talking to the microphone.
I know, I'm
Can't
far
turn
away.
I see you, though. I'm
Apologies.
right next to you.
I like looking right at you when I'm talking.
I understand.
So, what have you been up to, JP?
Absolutely nothing and everything at the same time.
That's how it is. I don't understand the psychology of that, but that's literally what we've been doing. Is a whole lot of just, I guess, the monotony, the day-to-day, but it feels like nothing, but I guess it's a lot when we look at it in retrospect, I guess.
Yes, we gave in to the devil.
You need to explain. What is that?
We got away from our passions.
You said we gave in to the devil.
Yes, that's what the devil wants you to do.
Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah, that makes sense.
He wants you to fall into the man's plan for you, and you lose yourself.
That makes it real deep. I just think that every time we woke up, a week had gone by because of the way time is set up now. It's just speeding up.
Because we're trying to keep the man happy.
I know. It just every week just kept going by and we hadn't recorded. So, but that's in the past now. We are back. We're excited. So
Yes.
we're going to sort of try to catch up with the ways of the world and talk about a subject that a lot of us have been talking about on social media, and that is the big D. I'm sorry, I had to.
These nuts.
No, try again.
Peni.
No, I know, and that's why I was pretending that it was, but it's not. We're not gonna.
Donuts decorating.
I don't know anybody talking about donuts on social media, but I like donuts.
Deluxe.
What happened to the Arch Deluxe?
Debreastises.
That's a whole nother topic for another day. But celebrity divorce is going to be our topic for today, which is a pretty big, wide open
Divorce.
topic. But divorce, celebrity divorce and how it can impact a person, divorce and all of its murky glory, I
She
guess.
said murky.
Yeah, murky glory. So that's what we're going to go with today to sort of get us back into the groove of talking. We are in a slightly newer environment. We're going to try this out. So we're,
We're in our bed.
we in the bed. So it may come across as a lot more casual just because I'm in my wonderful soft cover. So, I don't know. We'll try this out.
Is Mia naked?
I'm not naked.
Check our live to find out.
I'm not. I have a whole hoodie on. So, how do we want to get started, JP?
Take the show.
Oh my goodness, he just wants me to drive the bus. All right, so let's see. You know, this is a big topic, so we're going to try to do some bite-sized pieces of it, and get a little bit into what we've heard recently, and sort of, I guess, verbalize our opinions on what we think divorce is, what we think divorce isn't, the positives, the negatives, all that good stuff. So we won't drag it out. I do want to start us off as saying again, disclaimer, we are not licensed clinical psychotherapists in any way. We are not telling people how to live their lives. We are merely two really cute, in love folks
hanging on by a thread.
who are
We're at the end of our pitiful ropes.
Every girl deserves to go to a ball.
Yeah, I need you to stay focused. You have to stay focused.
Because you're not. I know.
I'm focused.
I'm sorry.
You have, like I said, you have to drive this boat.
Okay, I'm driving.
If you get off, then
we gonna be on the deck
completely because
on deck. All right.
I'm freestyling.
All right, I got you. So, so yeah, please do not sue us. That's all we're trying to say. All right, so we're gonna go clearly off the wonderful world of the internet, and I'm gonna start us off with some of the most updated statistics in the United States regarding divorce. Usually, or what we always hear, is that you're more likely to have a marriage end in divorce than a marriage that lasts over a long period of time. So, the most recent statistics here, and I'm sort of scrolling a little bit. October 11, 2022. All right, here we go. Most recent. The divorce rate in the United States, in America, just America itself. I'm not able to speak on other parts of the world at this time, but the United States rate is about 41% of all first marriages end in divorce, which I guess is, I don't know if I want to call it down, but I guess it's down from about almost 50% of marriages or first marriages. Of course, they say that subsequent marriages have a much higher chance of ending than the first one. So as you get more and more married to different spouses, I guess, your chances of getting divorced go higher. So I thought that was interesting. They say that 50% of marriages, people separate, but are not necessarily dissolved. So that's interesting as well. So
that's a real plain number. How is it 50%?
Mm-hmm. It says with a 50 to 60% chance that the marriage will not be dissolved. 50 to 60%.
It's closer to 54%, 54 to 57%.
Okay, so it says 50 to 60.
50 is a cop out.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it's probably difficult.
That's like a coin flip. Let's be specific with
Yeah, but I think it's probably difficult for people to actually say, because some people, quote unquote, divorce, and they just leave.
Myself.
What you doing over there?
I feel some electricity come out my finger.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, Thor. Look, you better let me know. But yeah, I get you, because it's just kind of like the number. I think it just is I think some people don't really divorce. Some people just kind of don't live together anymore, and they say, "Oh, we divorced," and they didn't really do the paperwork. So I think it's difficult to try to get a specific number. So, anywho, I've got some divorce stats that can predict your marriage's success. Let me see. I'm going to peek in on these. Let's see. Here's some other little ones. If you live in a red state, you're 27% more likely to get divorced than in a blue state. And I wonder why.
Leave that up to them. I don't feel like being political right now.
Listen to this. If you argue with your spouse about finances once a week, your marriage is 30% more likely to end in your divorce than if you were.
That's not
than
true
if you did.
because we argue
We don't
at
argue
least twice
about,
a week about you buying McDonald's 7 times a week.
Don't do that. No, we don't argue. We don't tell people we argue. We don't argue. And you don't say it if you thinking it. So some weeks I do better. Don't do that. Let's see. If your parents are divorced.
Uh-oh.
It's not like I fell out, did it? No, I dropped my phone on my mic. I'm good. All right, so let's try it again. If your parents are divorced, you are at least 40% more likely to get divorced than if they weren't. If your parents married others after divorcing, you're 91% more likely to get divorced. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how they got that. That's a big number. And they say that's stats, that if you're a child of divorced parents, then they say theoretically that you're more likely to get divorced yourself. So some of these I'm like, I'm scrolling. This one, if you have a daughter, you're nearly 5% more likely to divorce than if you have a son. But what if you have one of each?
What does that mean?
I don't know. It happens because fathers get more invested in the family life when they have boys. I think that's opposite. Okay. This is coming from the Review of Economic Studies in an article called The Demand for Sons. So that's, I think, because I know many men who really wanted a daughter. But that, I don't know. I have to look into that one. See, they go into a little bit of religion. We won't touch that one. If you live in Wayne County, Indiana, and are over 15 years old, there's a 19% chance that you've been divorced. I'm like, wait, 15?
Because they're all cousins.
That's what they say in Wayne County, Indiana. Hey, shout out to Wayne County. Y'all got to answer this one. I don't know what this means. This is the source is the U.S. Census Bureau from 2008. So
gotta find a fresh cousin.
It's a mostly rural county.
Rural.
Renowned in the 1920s as a KKK stronghold. That's
Okay.
It leads the nation's percentage of divorced residents.
Like the damn Targaryens.
Okay. Oh yeah. Hey, shout out to our shows. Let's see. If you had previous marriages, you're likely to get more divorce. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that's kind of repetitive at this point. If you are below average intelligence, you're 50% more likely to be divorced than those of above average intelligence.
I disagree with that.
We don't need to get divorced.
There's some dummies that stay together forever. It's the smart people that be getting the divorces.
That's true.
I don't agree with that one.
Bell curve, the 100. I don't know. Scientific American. Now it's a little outdated. It's from 1998. So I don't know. That's a little outdated for me.
Well, let's get into this millennium.
If you have twins or triplets, your marriage is 17% more likely to get divorced. I get that. I get why.
Why?
Because kids are cock blockers. They are. And you got 2 or 3 of them at the same age. Dude. And nowadays you can't find no babysitter. Like, that is a serious thing. All right. So some of these are very interesting. They scroll for days. So it's about 16 of them. So we're not going to go into all of these. So, interesting. Statics. Oh, wow. Statistics. Statics. It's late for me. So, JP, what do you think about just general opinion about divorce itself? Like the concept of divorce. We won't even get into anybody specific right now. So, do you have any type of... This is what I think about divorce.
How I think about divorce? It depends on the circumstances.
Okay.
Like there are some outside factors that would contribute to where it would be necessary. But the base of it would be people need to project out a little bit further about how they want to live their lives. Like, because a lot of time you're caught up in the moment in your marriage rather than thinking about people don't think about how people change, physical appearance, financials, and all that stuff. They're caught up in the moment, and they're not planning for down the road.
Yeah.
So when the slightest storm comes, they're out.
Okay, so that, and I'm going to add on to what you said, because I like how you said the slightest storm. I think society now makes it easy to give up. Like, it's so easy for us to say, yeah, we not getting along, so I guess we're not soulmates after all. And so we just going to tell, Facebook and Instagram that we just going to leave it at that, and we wish for privacy at this time. Thank you. I think it's easy for us to just get out of stuff. And I don't think it's necessarily easier because it wasn't easy back in the day because people couldn't afford it. Like, you couldn't afford it. Grandma couldn't afford to leave. Like, grandma was a stay-at-home mama. She had 4 or 5 kids. There wasn't no way she was going to leave. She knew he was cheating, but it is what it is. Nowadays, women got their own, men have their own. You can just go. Like, it's like, all right, well, then it's more efficient to see. Bounce. Even if you have 4 or 5 kids, people still are much more, people likely run for the hills probably a little too early than I think people should. So,
and it's a lot of just how the mindset of people is now. Yeah. I compare it to, I actually kind of compare it to the job market. How that is now, where we have people that are coming in expecting higher wages, and comparing themselves to people who have been with the company for a while because of their skill set. And one thing that I heard that I really liked is people are being paid because they have shown that they can go through the storm. So you have the newer generation are seeing the older people that are making it, and they're not seeing what that couple went through,
the work
to get there.
Yeah, I like that idea too, and I guess there's some direct parallels to the workforce now. The workforce is younger because our boomers are aging out and retiring. Some of our Xers are retiring early because pandemic kind of put a lot of people out. And so the workforce is younger, and they want it a little easier. I think people want a shortcut way. Everybody wants the satisfaction of it without the work, and that's
instant gratification.
That's what we are seeing. And even like people our age who have gotten married, I know of people who have gotten married, gotten divorced, gotten married, and they still struggling. And then they struggle on a social media where everybody can watch, and it's like, why are y'all doing this? Stop. But of course I need people on my side. I need people to look at me. I need to feel instantly like I'm in the right. I was thinking of something, but I think it'll come back to me probably later, in terms of people running for the hills early. Oh well, that's gonna come back as go. But yeah. And I think we have some of the same ideas, which is what you would want with a spouse, regarding actually trying to project out and plan for the future, because like JP says, things change, and likely they don't change overnight. They change day to day for a long period of time until someday you look up and say, I didn't know where is this coming from? When it's been coming from, it's been coming for you for 4 years, but you just now opened your eyes. So yeah. So we have some of the same like general ideas. There are some cases for me, and I know for you as well, where divorce is kind of a must do, and then there are some cases I would guess that divorce is like maybe the last resort, depending on a given situation. So, what are some of your divorce must be done situations? What are your what would we call it? When they call it when you cut. I'm trying to think what's the word.
The line in the sand.
Maybe. What's your line in? Yeah, what's over your line in the sand, I guess. I like that. That's very nice. Line in the sand.
It's fairly simple for me. Anywhere that any lack in respect. Because if there's no respect there, then I'm not there. Period. So anything that like disrespects me or not show courtesy to my feelings and my well being, then I'm out.
That's nice and straightforward.
Sorry.
No, it's not bad. Don't. I'm just like, oh yeah. Courtesy to your feelings and well being, including your physical safety.
Correct.
So no one wilding out, slapping you upside the head every night. That's not gonna work out.
Good luck.
I'm thinking about like the word respect, because if there's a lack of respect, shows it kind of yields a lack of trust. Because if someone is constantly being disrespected, that person wouldn't be able to trust you with anything, information, your body, your children, like all of that goes out the door. It goes with it. So yeah, I can see that. I like that.
So yeah, so if you're not going to respect the vows and the sanctity of marriage, then please don't waste my time.
Yeah. And you pointed out something there, the sanctity of marriage. I don't think people even, if we're talking about people truly preparing for marriage, I don't even think people even realize what they're saying when they do that. So, yeah, I don't think people, if you're doing even non-traditional vows, if you're reading your own, creating your own, you're still making, essentially making a pact with your partner that, hey, we gonna do the damn thing, with, whatever divine guidance we can get. So I don't think people nowadays even realize that, how serious that is. And I don't know, maybe we taking it too seriously. Maybe we out of the loop. I don't know. But if you really sit down and listen to the words of any type of vow to someone, it's like very deep. So yeah, I would agree. My divorce must do, or line in the sand, as my husband so eloquently put, is definitely anything that is harmful to me or the children. So I guess it slightly aligns. Harmful and harmful in terms of physical harm, psychological harm, mental harm, anything that is harmful. Because we throw around the word toxic, right? That's one of those words. Oh, he toxic, she toxic. I guess that would be for me harmful. Even a toxic relationship, though, if it's worth fixing and if the persons involved are willing to fix it, then I don't think that's an automatic door, out of the door at the time. But if you're harming yourself or harming me, harming my children, that for me is going to be it.
All right, let's get into it. So, is cheating a end all be all for you?
Infidelity in terms of one of the spouses on another or both, doesn't matter.
You gotta speak for you.
Okay. No, I'm just clarifying your question.
I'm asking Miss Mia. I'm putting you on the spot.
Is cheating an end all be all for me?
It is, yes.
Like cheating is automatic trigger divorce? No. And I'm going to get all the boo, throw the egg at me. I know. Throw the eggs. I know. Boo, you think you Beyonce? No. So here's my ideas about infidelity. Okay. All right.
Let's go.
I know. So, spouse, we'll call him spouse, man spouse, woman spouse, don't matter, because women and men, we all human. So get caught up, have a situation on the side, right? One time, so they say, one time situation. I believe that there is power in that spouse saying, I fucked up. This is what I want to do this is what I want to do to make it right. I'm willing to make myself better in order to keep my family intact. Right? Because we hold our spouses to, I don't want to say too high of a standard, but we look at our spouses as perfection. Like, you have to be perfect for me every single moment of every single day. That is not to say that I would allow Mr. Payton to just go out and just do anything, but I think there is something to it when we admit like shortcoming. Now, here is the other thing I got the finger up. If you out R. Kellyin', and that just made
peeing on little girls,
doing whatever he was doing,
peeing on little girls,
sticking all the holes in the world. If you're doing that, and I made him into a verb, yes. If you're doing that, that is harming me and my children, and harming me in my mental state, emotionally, physically, because you can bring me back some of that little clap, and I don't want none of that. So I think there is a difference. I don't know very many spouses, though, who, if they were like messing with more than one person, will actually say, oh, yeah, I did sleep with 13 women. I think they will always just say one, which is just a slippery slope. You just have to, I guess, kind of just go along with what your spouse is saying. I don't know. But I am willing to give a person another chance. Okay. And that's me. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying that outside of anything even remotely close to having a situation like that in my home. So I'm saying that looking on the outside of the window, I would imagine that I could have a different point of view if I had actually gone through something like that. Mm-hmm. But me being the person I am, I'm not going to automatically throw out my entire life for one incident that we could kind of try to overcome. So
I got you.
That makes sense.
Yes. You hear that, hoes?
No, just, yeah. I believe in redemption for people. Mm-hmm. No, I ain't, it depends, I think, on the situation.
I got you.
On what the spouse got themselves into.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's going to be different for you. I can see it coming. It's different for a man. I know. We're transparent. Right, so, we're talking about this. This is the first time we're talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and release my cool.
Oh.
Because, the obvious machismo way would be to say, absolutely not. I'm out of there. Don't do that. Don't you play me. It's over and done with. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I'm emotionally or spiritually in a place where I honestly would recover from that. So you potentially would not love me anymore because I've set up so much stock into this that it would completely break me, and I don't know if I would be the same afterwards. So the male version would be like, hell no, if you cheat, I'm out.
Right.
But yeah, you get to a point where you love a person so much and you try to do everything right, and then that happens.
Right.
It would honestly completely break me. So I don't know how I could recover for something like that. So,
well, holy Jesus of Nazareth! All right,
I took the cool off. I could
no. I won't, because this is news to me, which I love.
So some people wouldn't admit that.
Yeah,
they'd rather just break it off.
Just be like, it's all right, and then just put on that cool coat and be like, no, she was a hoe. It's all right. Do a Lawrence,
but it would
basically do a Lawrence. So yeah.
But if we being honest and truthful,
and
we couldn't handle it.
Yeah. And I think there is something to it when they say men love hard. Like when y'all love.
I know what I was doing was whack, but why you have to give me back like that?
Yeah, that man was hurt. Even though he was a hoe first.
Thing,
yeah, he did it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something to that. And they
don't want to admit it.
I don't ever want, my women listeners, I don't want to like make it seem like women can handle emotional breaks, but it seems as if there's a higher tolerance for a woman to take a man's infidelity than a man being able to take it. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that's just our past, and particularly black women, because we hardly have a past in the first place. Ours was snatched from us. Let me not get on that. So
you're supposed to keep supposed to keep your hoes in line.
Is that and that's what men are supposed to do. And when they don't, it's out of control. It just feels like women are supposed to be able to tolerate a cheating man, but a man can't tolerate a woman doing the exact same thing. Like, I'm thinking about the movie Boomerang.
Oh.
And she was a very promiscuous, open woman from the beginning. I call her Robin, but what was her name in the movie? I don't remember her name in the movie. Robin Gibbons. Robin's character was like, hey, I don't want this to be serious. You're not getting real serious on me because we just fucking. Like, this is what it is.
That's another cuss word.
So,
yeah, let's go ahead and try to make this as brief as possible because, like I said, I've never seen Boomerang.
Oh, my God, I know. My husband just be admitting all these movies he's never seen. So, and that's one of my all-time favorites. So, but her character from the beginning said, this is who I am. He was, the quote unquote playboy. Like, he had all these women. He had a whole system where they would come to the house. If he were at his house and he didn't want to, bang her there, he would take her to her house. Like, it was a whole system. And then he found a woman who acted the same way. And that man was broke down in the studio looking at screens with clouds on him, like, until, Halle Berry's character came along. But he was broken, like, and you said spiritually broken. Like, he would have just dove himself off a bridge because she did the exact same thing that he did. And I think as a society, I don't know where that tolerance came from for women. It's like, if your man cheat, then, you're gonna have to just deal with that girl. But if she cheats, she a hoe, she out here in these streets. She's a woman of the night. Like, she be called, she a bitch. She like a little bit of everything because she is doing the exact same thing that a man does. So it's very one way in that. But I understand and respect the idea or your feelings that you wouldn't be the same man. And that's a serious thing because I married a very specific man who has evolved on me, who I love the man he is now because his evolution has been very natural and not, over all this time, I'm like, okay, I don't know who he is. JP has always been JP. He's just gotten older and more mature in his thinking, in his way that he was. So, and I have not ever asked him about that, but I love that answer. And that's what I would have wanted you to say, I guess. So,
talking to the microphone.
I'm sorry, and I keep pulling that because I keep looking at him because that's how I talk. I'm sorry, I'm a teacher. So yeah, what's another one that's like, because they say the top reasons why people usually get divorced. Finances is usually up there. Like, people just can't get along about money. They say if one partner is more emotionally stressed, like if one partner is more readily available for stress and emotionality, then that can wreak havoc on a relationship. So I'm thinking of other major. So I'm going to ask your opinion about this. What is irreconcilable differences mean? Because people throw that out, and I don't quite understand how do you stay married to someone, but you have a difference that I guess, quote unquote, suddenly popped up and you can't fix it. Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
It would be serial cheating.
So that's
serial cheating.
What do you mean serial?
Like you go through that phase where it happened, and you guys decided that you still want to try to pursue
make it work. Okay.
And yet it still and yet it still comes on, and that's where it would fall into the respect of the actual relationship itself. Like if you sucked up your pride, went to the counseling, did all of that, and it's still occurring.
Okay.
At some point, you just gotta cut ties.
Let it go. Yeah. And I would definitely recommend that.
Stealing of finances.
You think hiding money is in that category too? Because some people hide money from their spouse.
Hide money. That's a lack of trust. Domestic violence
of any type. Yeah, that falls into my harmful. Yeah, anything domestic. I shouldn't fear my spouse. That is terrifying. And fear my children's safety. So yeah.
And if your partner is just like morally and spiritually corrupt.
Even if they weren't. If they just suddenly become a different person. And I think some people intentionally become a different person. Or so many circumstances occur that they just can't get from under they can't unbury themselves. Because if you have a series of unfortunate events, if you have deaths in families, and we had a whole podcast on episode on grief, different stages of grief and the different types. You can have sets of different types of griefs that you can't get from under. It changes the person, like almost genetically changes the way a person acts and interacts with the world, which is you, because you're their world, and they can't come from under that. I guess that's irreconcilable as well. It's like I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for that person. So irreconcilable for me is sad. And I don't know if, of course, we would have listeners who have cited irreconcilable, differences. Because we're optimists, and we're always like, hey, we think we can fix every problem that comes up, even those that pop up again and again, when in reality, nothing is black and white. Some things you really just can't fix, and there's no other category through which we can put this divorce under. So it's just going to be irreconcilable, and we're going to bounce and keep it moving. Because I'm thinking that's what Tia and Corey are putting in theirs.
The jury's still out on that one.
Yeah. So we were talking about, this topic came about due to all of the recent what feels like the influx of celebrity divorces, particularly in the Black community, because of course we don't have so many of us who are happily, quote unquote, happily married. So anytime you hear about a Black celebrity divorce, it's like, what? I thought they were going to do it. Some people, you're like, oh yeah, they were going to divorce anyway. But some people were like, oh, man. And they were, they were chugging 14 years. That's a little chug. They were going.
Yeah.
And JP.
He got one off the checklist.
JP said he think it's a positive.
He got a nice bar story going forward. He was able to hit one of the twins. So yeah, he hit one of the twins. Up. So it's them, the Simmons girls.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it was Vanessa and Angela and them. JP says it's a freedom for him because we've seen recent videos of their interaction, and it feels like she was very like wearing the pants, and he was kind of just flapping in the wind. So yeah, JP is like, hey, that needed to end.
Live your life, king.
So that is
raise your kids.
Yeah,
do what you do.
They gotta go parent them. The babies are cute.
Do what you do, man.
They're our most recent. That's this month.
It's a yawn fest.
Yeah, it is. It's sad out here. Like we had. I don't know. One of them home years. JP says you think she was.
Shush. Continue. Next topic.
I can't even remember what to say. The one of them housewives, they were married for a hot second. I'm like, well, good God. Like you try to think of like what you think is like really solid people. Like Anthony Anderson and his wife, Kenan Thompson and his wife. Like you always think of them, they're funny, right? So you think, oh, they would be funny. They would have a very, joyful marriage. They have very.
Don't quote me on this, but I think his wife is dating his co-host, the dude that was on this show too.
Which one? Anthony Anderson?
No, Kenan Thompson.
You said his wife is dating
Chris Red.
Okay.
And they were on the show together. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, we're going to look that one. I don't know.
Hey.
I don't know.
He had to get punched in the face.
Yeah. So I see him next. That won't going to work. Yeah, but I mean, you don't think of, like, you just, I don't know. To me, those relationships, when they go beyond a few years, like they just kind of like, because they were together for like decades, Kenan and his wife were together a decade. And so you're like, oh, once you get past a certain point, you forget that people are married. And it's like, okay, it's just the norm. Like it's abnormal for them not to be married because they've been married for so long and they have kids and everything. So, because I know Anthony Anderson's kids are in their 20s. So it's like, hey, that's the norm. But then it's,
You say they funny, but are they cute? Does funny constitute you being able to have a handsome man's attitude in a relationship?
And here's the thing, funny can go away after a while. And if I'm trying to talk about something serious and you always try to make a joke about it, I can see how funny can get old real quick. And I'm like, hey, this is not a joke. I'm being serious. But if he's always laughing every time I try to talk about it.
You Kenan Thompson, you Fat Albert. You ain't all that, brother. I'm the prize.
I'm the prize. I don't know. We've just had
I can leave and take half of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you better watch your tone.
I want to know.
Keep your hands on your head.
You know they got married at the Georgia Aquarium. I didn't know that. That's interesting. 2011.
Focus me and stop. This is not a gossip pod.
No,
let's get to the stats
but
and facts.
I'm just saying how it's just sad. And then they're all irreconcilable. So things have happened that shouldn't have happened, that couldn't be fixed. I ain't doing all that. All right, so for a second, let's talk about what divorce does to your psyche. Because again, I'm going back to your idea that not marrying. Let me back this up a little bit. That being cheated on basically would change you as a person. And they say that divorce does have psychological effects on both a male and a female, male and a male, female and a female, whatever works. And not just influencing their well-being, but people tend to experience depression, loneliness and isolation, self-esteem difficulties, psychological distress. Let's see. People commonly feel angry, resentment, confusion, fear, shame, and anxiety. One little article that I peeked at says that you can literally have a PTSD from getting a divorce, because a divorce is essentially a traumatic event in your life that is an interruption. And so there are psychological and emotional stages to getting divorced.
Like that Solange song, Cranes in Cranes in the Sky?
What's she saying?
Just everything. Tried to wash it away, tried to shop it away, tried to fuck it away.
Yeah, and it won't working. Yeah. And then people tend to always think of like the children. Think of the children. What will the children do, when the effects for the people involved are much more, not more, but are just as important as the children, because children are much more resilient than we give them credit for. And they're going to find a new normal in the parents separating. Whereas a woman, they say that men suffer. A lot of men tend to suffer physically because they have fewer skills when it comes to taking care of themselves. Because a lot of men in marriages tend to have a wife who says, hey, you need to go to the doctor, you need to go to the dentist, you need to do this. And the women become the steward to the man's health. But once the man divorces, there's no one there to remind them of doctor's appointments and whatnot. So a lot of men die not because of divorce, but they die because they're no longer taking care of themselves in the way that they were when they were married. That's interesting. Let's see. Are people happier after divorce? I think it just depends. There is something called divorced husband syndrome. I didn't know what this is, but
What
it's
is that?
SDS. It's a thing. Lord, I think we're making stuff up, but okay. It's caused by the stress and anxiety caused by going through a divorce, especially when one partner was totally clueless that the other partner wanted to dissolve the marriage. So now I'm thinking about different people when marriage has just popped up on them and they didn't know, quote unquote. No, I think he knew. I was thinking Gary Owen, but I think he knew about his. They were going through a lot. But it's a whole article here on sudden divorce syndrome.
That was the case with the wife. He knew. He wanted the break. He wanted it. She didn't know.
Increased blood pressure and heart conditions can be related to it, as well as being people coping with stress, with the stress of it in negative ways, like increased alcohol consumption and cirrhosis of the liver. So it could be literally because of your dissolved marriage that you in the hospital with high blood pressure.
Yes.
And I would imagine that's true too, especially if divorce is rough. Like some people is rough. Like this Dr. Dre one, his thing is rough. I'm like, dang, she ain't never gonna let this go. He in it for the long, long. And again, it's this. I'm not a big widespread believer in divorce. I know, again, the situations that we've discussed quite merit cutting that thing off. You know, if you're trying to make a marriage work, it's not working. The children know, it's clearly obvious. You're just trying to stay because y'all got kids together or y'all been together for years. Honey, that's not healthy. If you're not with the person if you're not with your spouse because of the reasons that got you guys together in the first place, I don't believe in continuing on something that's just not going to do it, because it's just going to erode you from the inside. And we only get, as far as we know, we only get this one life in our form. It's just too short to try to make something happen that's really, really over. So no matter how tragic it is. So I'm looking at this quote. It says, divorce isn't such a tragedy. A tragedy's staying in an unhappy marriage, teaching your children the wrong things about love. Nobody ever died of divorce. That's from Fly Away Home. So that's a book. But yeah, we always got to think about what type of energy we're projecting out, because we are just energy in a physical, in a physical capsule. And when you remaining in something because of false pretenses or what you think is the right thing and it's not, you're putting out that energy. And you always, especially if you have children, it's, something that they pick up on. Our kids are so sensitive. They pick up on everything. So I was talking to Drew today about why mommy loves daddy. And I think he understands about there's different kinds of love. Because I said, well, I kiss daddy because I love daddy. And I kiss you because I love you. But it's different ways. He was like, oh, kind of like if a girl comes up to me and kisses me, that's different. I was like, yeah, something like that. So we were just talking about love and what that looks like. But he's very interested in the concept, even if he may or may not truly understand it, because it's an abstract thing. But, meanwhile, Jai, our baby girl is going through everything is so sweet phase. So she thinks it's, everything is adorable and, oh, that's so beautiful. And she talks about, getting married and having children. And I'm like, oh, my God, at 6. So, but that's all to say, we are teaching our children how to love, like how to love one another, and our reflection is going to be seen in them and how they love whoever they're meant to be with. So I don't know. So that means, I'm kind of against divorce in that way, but if it's for the better of everyone, then I think you just got to kind of find what makes you happy.
Yes.
Because that's all we here for, right?
Word.
Trying to find it. So yeah. Yeah. Look at that.
Okay. So you done?
I don't know. My little rope ran out. It just right off the end.
All right. Lean on your co-host.
Yes. Hi, co-host.
Hi.
No, I'm just staring at this word forgiveness, and I'm trying to figure out if there's something I was going to say about that. I'm sure there is, but it's escaped me right now. It's what happens when I don't.
Forgiveness is key if the intentions are true.
How do you know when the intentions are true, though? What if they just feeding you lines?
Actions.
Yeah.
Following actions.
And that thing takes some time, too. Because it's not just going to be overnight. It's got to be, like, you got to stay in there and you stare at them and make sure that those actions are matching. Mm-hmm. Do you know anybody who has a prenuptial agreement in real life?
No, everybody I know broke as hell.
I know. I don't know anybody in real life who has a prenup. And I don't want to say real life, like celebrities aren't real life. But, I mean, in terms of, like, regular people out here in the world, I don't know anybody who has a prenup.
You won't have my Xbox?
You can keep it. Keep the Xbox. I'm like, I got some Jordans, and I got a really nice fluffy bed. I mean, he can have a bed if that's what he wants. Like, I don't know anyone, like, quote unquote regular person who has a prenuptial agreement. But that tends to come up a lot with people who got
McDonald's
money.
401k. I got $76 in there. Get the fuck out of here.
And she won't have. I'm taking half of that. I don't know. That's interesting.
Don't worry about it.
Nobody
got no prenuptial
I really
agreement.
want to know if you have a prenuptial agreement. Please email us. I really want to know.
I'll send you a $10 gift card.
You said you'll send him $10 gift card. No, he really will. Like paidinfullpod@gmail.com. Please contact us because I want to know what drove the decision to it, and if there is like if you did it just like, do you really have money like that? Because I mean, we got a little bit, but I don't think we have enough to be like, I'm taking half and you taking half. Like, we have our house, right? So what we would do is we would just sell the house and like just you take this percent, you take that, and I'm taking this, and we gone. Like, it wouldn't be a whole like drawn out. We got to get the lawyers and stuff because of our agreement. Like, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out at what point we want to draw one up. Like, if I win a lottery, would we get a prenuptial agreement? Well, no, because you got to do it before marriage, don't you?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know nothing about it. Y'all got to teach
I'm pretty
me.
sure it has to be before the marriage.
I think it has to be before the marriage. Yeah, prenup.
Stop talking about we don't know what we talking about.
I just want to know if anybody has one in real life. Like, maybe somebody had a trust or something, and it's like their grandma's money, but they didn't. They didn't want him to have the money. That can happen. Beware.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yes,
baby. I'm trying. Okay, because I was just thinking about that. I done jumped off forgiveness to a prenup. Like, it popped in my head, like, hey, I don't know anyone who has one in real life.
No.
Sorry, we love liar.
Everybody got no damn prenups.
What else you got, babe?
I ain't got nothing else. Good night, everybody. We are out of here. We didn't give y'all
an hour,
44 more minutes than what I was expected to give. I thought we was gonna only do about a 10-minute show and be up out of here.
No. Thank you guys for listening.
Y'all done got the sucker
go.
MC up out of me. I done got all vulnerable and shit. Now I gotta go listen. Gotta go shoot my gun in the air or something.
Oh my God. Help me, Jesus.
All right. We back.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening.
It's the end of the show.
You said you didn't have anything to add on. You got anything you want to add on?
Not a damn thing, man.
Thank you guys for listening to the Pod and Paid in Full Pod. We missed you guys. We will be back. If you want to hang out with us, don't do that. We are on. I was going to do it again. All social media channels. We're doing better about updating them as well. So, yay. You guys get to see different pictures of when we travel. And then, of course, we have our Gmail at paidinfullpod@gmail.com. Paiden, Paden, FULLPOD. So please give us some of your experiences. You know, if you are a millennial divorcee, we would love to hear your story and sort of get some insight because we're all about education. And if you're considering, you know, and you're listening to us, trying to get some different ideas, we would love to talk to our listeners. Like, I mean, love. Y'all get a whole paragraph from me. I will let you know. So email us or reach out to us on social media. So yeah. Anything else, babe?
No, just congratulations to my nephew, Jonathan Payton and Iani Hughes. They just recently got engaged in Africa or Greece or Spain.
They were in Athens, Greece.
Okay. Wherever,
Oh, my God.
where the hell it was. Congratulations.
Yay. We're so
And
excited.
wish them the best of damn luck.
You know what? We should have them on. Just because they new. That would be fun. We'll have to ask. Hey, you guys, if you're listening, we would love to invite you to the Paid in Full
Why
Pod.
don't you just call them?
I'm going to call them too. But
So it's
if they will tell them to
stuck.
listen to this as well. That would be great because they are new and we're kind of old.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Damn.
I'm back soon.
Was I recording? It'd be fucked up if I wasn't recording. Yeah, we're good.
You better leave that light on. Y'all, I think this is the last episode in the bed.
Oh, this is great because I'm me a naked boy. I'm finna go ahead and sip on this yak. And some yak and some banana pudding.
Help me, Father. I'm going to go to bed. It's bed.
Not till after I get by.
Good night.